Speaking of elaborate funerals, did you watch the Oscars last night?
I'm not sure who thought this was a good idea, but I am hosting the Oscars, along with my good friend Wanda Sykes and Regina Hall. I better go watch some movies.
Well, it's Oscar season, but the big question is, well, are folks really going to care? This time, the Academy Awards realizes that people are not as invested in this as they used to be. So they've hired not one host, but three. Is this going to bring it back to life? Mark Daniell, our entertainment editor, joins me now to talk about this. And Mark, I kind of agree with Seth Rogen, who came out and said, you know what, people have given up on the Oscars. I think he's right. What about you?
So, Brian, what Seth actually said was, I don't get why movie people care so much. If other people care, what awards we give ourselves? To me, maybe people just don't care. And I think Brian, he really hit the nail on the head. The Oscars have had steadily declining viewership over the last, I don't know how many years. In 2021, they set the record for the lowest viewership of all time.
The ratings for the Oscars plummeted from 23 million last year to less than 10 million this year. How can something so woke put so many people to sleep? I don't know, but
I think this is in part because the Oscars aren't nominating popular movies which resonate with moviegoers. It's a lot of stuff that maybe you heard of, maybe you saw on a streaming site, but you didn't really watch or it didn't resonate with the culture.
Yeah, so I've been hearing that argument since I was a kid. Why wasn't Star Wars nominated? Well, you know, I'm an adult now and I watch Star Wars and I think, well, I know why it wasn't nominated. It wasn't a great film, even though it was extremely popular. But, you know, we've got a couple things going on. I think we've got COVID. So most of us haven't been to a movie theater all that often in the past couple of years. So the award show now are about movies you mostly haven't seen. And you're right, they're not popular movies. They don't even go for things that are more, I don't know, engaging or artful, but also popular. It's movies you've never heard of, movies you haven't seen, and political speeches for every, third person that gets up.
Is Hollywood racist? You're damn right Hollywood's racist. Let's not let this negative issue of diversity beat us. Climate change is real. It is happening right now.
And, you know, I don't know about you, but I kind of yawn at that. I spend enough days dealing with the news and political speeches.
Halfway through, I was like, this is some real Hollywood bull.
Tina is a huge star and presented at last Sunday's show with Steve Carell.
The non-enemies are.
But behind the scenes, she was apparently seething at the nonstop political content.
Listen, the Oscars are supposed to be about celebrating the movies, and you've got to, and included in that, you have to celebrate popular movies. Spider-Man: No Way Home is one of the most well-reviewed movies of 2021. So it's not like Spider-Man was, you know, critics hated it, but fans loved it. It was universally loved. You've got 10 films from which you can nominate your best picture, and Spider-Man's not on there. So I think the whole argument of, well, not a lot of people are going to the movies, it just doesn't work anymore, because people are going out, but they are choosing to spend their money on movies that they just want to be entertained. Now, as for the speeches, I do agree that to a degree that there is a sense that people are coming on stage and using that to advance agendas or talk about things that are just not that entertaining.
We live in a time where we have a man sending us to war for fictitious reasons, whether it's the fictition of duct tape or the fictitious of orange alerts. We are against this war, Mr. Bush. Shame on you, Mr. Bush.
You know, people work hard all week. There's Sunday nights. They want to spend being entertained and celebrating escapism, which is what the movies are about, and then leave the politics to the Monday to Friday crowd.
Okay, so it used to be a big deal to watch Billy Crystal years ago host the Oscars. He kind of set the bar for people remembering his big dramatic openings, his funny one-liners. And since he stopped doing it, they've really struggled. And now they've got three different hosts. Are any of these women going to help bring in new viewers, a new audience?
Well, Brian, that's the big question. The Oscars did want to shake things up because of last year's, really disastrous ratings. So they're going to have three hosts, as you mentioned: Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall. Each of the hosts will host 1 hour, and it's supposed to sort of guide you through and be a love letter to the movies. Now, you go up to anyone on the street, you say Regina Hall. They may not know who you're talking about. You say Wanda Sykes. Maybe some people will know. A lot of people may not. And then Amy Schumer. So I don't know. I like the idea of the three host structure. I'm just not sure if those were the three that they should go to, especially if they're hoping to turn around, really quite the ratings disaster that was 2021.
Okay, so this idea of we will have an online voting system, and we're gonna see which movies are popular. Maybe Spider-Man gets in on that one because, as you said, it's one of the most popular movies or the most popular movie this year. But online voting, unless they structure it really tightly, you can have a bunch of bots or an army of devoted fans make anything the most popular thing online. I see it with the polls that we do at The Sun. Sometimes they get overtaken by people, and it's completely different than what the actual public opinion is, but a group of devoted people said, we're going to make it 99% say this. Is that enough to satisfy what we were talking about earlier?
Oh, it reeks of desperation, Brian. It's the Academy saying, oh my goodness, how are we going to get people to tune in? I mean, Steven Spielberg couldn't even get people to go to the theaters to see his West Side Story remake. How are you who's tuning in to see whether or not it wins Best Picture? I think it is such a desperate move from the Academy to do a fan vote. I think it's so wrong and so misguided. Not even to mention the stuff of what you're talking about, that it could be fixed, and maybe we'll see something like, I don't know, Lady Gaga's House of Gucci become the fan movie of the year or something like that.
She's got devoted fans. That could happen.
She's got that's true.
I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
And I'm not saying that movie doesn't deserve it, by the way, but it just reeks of just such desperation to try and lure back younger viewers or people who just have tuned out altogether.
Well, I love the movies. I love art films. I love escapism films. I love the superhero, the Marvel movies, all of them. The Oscars don't seem to be clicking with me or a lot of other people over the last few years. I didn't watch it all last year. Are you going to watch this year, Mark?
Brian, it'll depend. Is there a Raptors game that night? Are the Blue Jays back? When did the Blue Jays start?
The Jays will not be on, but I'd have to check my schedule. Raptors are out of town, so I pay less attention when they're not playing at home. But so yeah. Anyways, I get your point. There's a lot of other things to take up your time. I'm not sure I'm going to watch. Well, what about you? Let us know if you're going to watch, what you think of the Oscars. Have they lost their way? And can they win you back? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you share this on social media and subscribe to our channel.